I had a choice to make. Was I going to let this fear continue to dominate me and be an obstacle, or was I going to face it? From an advertising perspective, the Olympic Games are very significant. They have the largest global audience and the most people watching at one time. The Olympic Games really are a metaphor for life. The athletes along the way strive for excellence and success. Now, most Olympic athletes do not do it for fame or fortune. They are doing it because they have set their own personal goals and they are striving for success. However, their path to get there is not easy. They face many obstacles, they stumble, and they fall along the way. The most inspirational Olympic athletes that we really remember are those that have fallen but have gotten themselves back up. Right now, I would like to show you 2 clips of the 2 athletes that stumbled along the way and finished the race.
Derek Redmond didn't finish in first place in the 1992 400 meter.
Redmond has broken down.
He didn't finish in second, or third, or fourth. He and his father finished dead last. But he and his father finished. Hours before his race in '88, Dan Jansen's sister, Jane, passed away. He'd promised her he'd win gold. He didn't. Until 6 years later. Then he skated a victory lap with his daughter, Jane.
Now, certainly both of those clips are very inspirational. Both of the athletes made it to the finish line. However, it was not without falling and stumbling along the way. In the first clip, you saw Derek Redmond, who pulled a hamstring and did not come in first, second, or third. In fact, he came in dead last. But the point is, he got to the finish line. How did he do it? He had the help of his father. In the second clip, you see Dan Jansen. Dan Jansen made it across the finish line, and he did end up winning gold, but it wasn't on his schedule. He didn't do it until 6 years later. Both of them finished the race, got to the finish line, but they both did it a little bit differently. One of them had help, and the other one simply sheer will and persistence. So what I'd like to do is share with you today one of my favorite sayings. It's not where you start the race that matters. It's where you finish. Obstacles are a part of life. It's not a matter of if you hit an obstacle, it's a matter of when you hit an obstacle. Well, I submit to you today that you need to figure out a way to get over, through, or around those obstacles. The 2 athletes that I just showed you in those clips did not let the obstacles defeat them. They simply came back and figured out a way to get through them. Fear is a human emotion and part of the human condition. It can serve to drive and motivate you, or it can serve as an instinctual warning sign for danger. However, fear can also serve as an obstacle, and it is that obstacle I want to talk to you about. Now, all of us have fears. Fears manifest themselves differently for everyone. For me, that fear was the fear of public speaking. Now, that may sound irrational to some because you go, well, how can that, be an obstacle for you? Well, for me, it was a very big fear. I wasn't just nervous, that's normal, and research tells you the biggest fear that most people have is of public speaking. However, for me, the fear was debilitating, paralyzing, making myself sick to my stomach if I had to get up and speak in front of people. There were a couple of times where I had no choice but to get up and speak in front of a group. Well, it wasn't until I was finishing my graduate degree that an opportunity lent itself to me, and that was to teach an introductory marketing course. Well, my mentor at the time was my department chair, and he asked me if I would like to teach the class. Well, he didn't know that I had this fear of public speaking because, frankly, I had done everything I could along the way to avoid it. And it had left me out of taking advantage of some opportunities because I was not able to get up and present and speak. Well, I had a choice to make. Was I going to let this fear continue to dominate me and be an obstacle, or was I going to face it? So I got all the help I could get. I took public speaking classes. I got feedback from mentors and professionals. I practiced. I organized my course, and I just decided that I was going to do it. Now, was I terrible at first? Yes, I'm sure I was terrible. But with more practice, I became more and more comfortable doing it. Whatever your fear is not irrational to you. And if that fear has become an obstacle, then I submit to you today that you need to address that fear and try to overcome it. So find the right people, find the right resources to help you address and get over that fear so it is no longer an obstacle. In marketing, we talk a lot about famous people. Every one of them faced obstacles along the way. Albert Einstein was told he would never amount to much. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was told he didn't have any original ideas. Oprah Winfrey was told she didn't have a future in television. And the Beatles were told that they just didn't have the right sound. They're known as the most famous failures. However, they're not failures at all. What made them get where they are today is their persistence and overcoming the obstacles that they faced. So, I submit to you today that when you face an obstacle, and you will, try to figure out, again, a way around it. So you see, it wasn't where they started the race that matters, it's where they finished. I'd like to leave you today with a clip. This clip is Heather Dorniden. Heather Dorniden was another eventual Olympic athlete, and this was her qualifying run to make it to the Olympics. So I'd like to show you that clip right now.
The 600-meter underway. Heather Dorniden in Minnesota finished second in this event a year ago. She was in lane 4.
And Dorniden is probably going to be your favorite. She actually won the NCAA championships in 2006 in the 800, but she only won one Big Ten championships in the 2 years.
3 laps in this event, 600 meters, 3 times around the 200-meter track here at the field house.
What a bold move by Fallon. She's looking very confident, and the Penn State runner is just running amazing today. She did win her heat in the 400, but ended up taking 4th overall.
That's Fondor moving into the lead, a sophomore from Penn State. Dorniden running second.
Dorniden last year scored 23 points for the Golden Gophers in their Big Ten championship, so they're really relying on getting a lot of points from her this weekend, and she's just coming by Fondor now in the home stretch, heading into the bell lap. Dorniden went down.
Whoa.
Dorniden falling down, gets up quickly, but that's going to cost her. Lucky she wasn't injured.
Her teammate just went to the front, though, so they may be able to recover from that. And Dorniden is flying down the backstretch.
She is catching up.
She is going to catch Fondor, and she may catch the leaders.
Wow.
Wow. She's got fun.
This is a gutsy effort by Dorniden. Can she pull it off? She's moved into third. Dorniden coming down the stretch from the outside. Dorniden coming on strong. Dorniden all the way. Dorniden. Yes, she did it. Wow, unbelievable.
That is amazing. To fall in a 600, I mean, this is basically a sprint.
So as you can see in that clip, Heather Dorniden, who had one chance to qualify for the Olympics, stumbled and fell. And she got right back up and not only finished the race, she won the race. When she was asked afterward how she thought she was able to do that, her response was really very simple. I didn't quit. So I would want to leave you today with, it's not a matter of if you hit an obstacle or stumble and fall. It's a matter of when. If plan A doesn't work for you, you're very lucky. You have 25 more letters in the alphabet. Don't quit. It's not where you start the race that matters. It's